सुनने वालों को Siraj Zaidi का बहुत-बहुत आदाब, namaskar and good afternoon. You're very welcome to the program. You're listening to Apna Radio, broadcasting at 93.9 Dublin South FM. Once again, another Thursday, another program, and I hope you'll stay with me until 4 o'clock because I'm not going to go anywhere before 4 o'clock and I shall entertain you and inform you. Those are the two things I do. I try to do my best in the best possible manner, and the news is here, and Charmaine will take you to the world of the news in India, and hopefully you will be able to understand what's going on in India. Therefore, sit back, relax, and enjoy the news from Charmaine. Charmaine, take it away.
Good afternoon, I'm Charmaine Colvin, and here is your weekly news roundup on Apna Radio 93.9 Dublin South FM. This week, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be attending a BRICS summit in Kazan, hosted by Russian President Vladimir Putin. The meeting, billed by the Kremlin as one of the largest-scale foreign policy events ever in Russia, comes at a time when Russia has been vilified for invading Ukraine. Sanctions have been put in place to restrict Russia's economy from global markets, and there's an arrest warrant out for Putin from the International Criminal Court. BRICS is an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, a group which is often referred to as a counterweight to the Western-led world. The meeting, however, will include more than 20 heads of state, including Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran and the UAE. Saudi Arabia has also been invited to join. The BRICS nations account for 45% of the global population. Altogether, members' economies are worth more than 22 trillion, which is around 28% of the global economy. Analysts say Putin is keen to ease the pressure from Western sanctions and will be hoping to convince BRICS delegates to adopt an alternative to the dollar for global payments. Many of the problems Russia's economy is facing are linked to cross-border trade and payments. Jim O'Neill, former chief economist of Goldman Sachs, said it's a good job for the West that China and India can never agree on anything, because if those two were really serious, BRICS would have enormous influence. And while Russia is focused on creating a new world order, India is keen to retain good political and economic relations with the West. The race between two of the world's richest men, Elon Musk and Mukesh Ambani, is gathering pace as they prepare to face off in India's satellite broadband market. Last week, India's government announced that satellite spectrum for broadband would be allocated administratively rather than through auction. Musk has previously criticised the auction model supported by Ambani. Satellite broadband provides internet access anywhere within the satellite's coverage, making it a reliable option for remote or rural areas where traditional services like DSL, a connection that uses telephone lines to transmit data, or cable are unavailable. Satellite internet subscribers are projected to reach 2 million by 2025, making the market extremely lucrative. Currently, there are around half a dozen key players, led by Ambani's Reliance Jio. Elon Musk's Starlink has 6,419 satellites in orbit and 4 million subscribers across 100 countries. He has been aiming to launch services in India since 2021, but regulatory hurdles have caused delays. Experts say if Musk gains a foothold in India, it will boost Narendra Modi's efforts to attract foreign investment and will also counter claims that its policies favour top Indian businessmen like Mr. Ambani. Ambani has spent billions in airwave auctions to dominate India's telecom sector and argues that an auction is necessary to ensure fair competition, given the lack of clear legal provisions in India on how satellite broadband services can be offered directly to people. At stake is the vast Indian market. Nearly 40% of India's 1.4 billion people still don't have internet access, with rural areas making up most of the cases. India's internet adoption rate still lags behind the global average of 66.2%, but recent studies show that the country is closing the gap. This week, India's Supreme Court said living in a pollution-free environment is a fundamental right, as it urged authorities to address deteriorating air quality in the north of the country. India's capital, Delhi, recorded a very poor air quality index of 364 on Wednesday, according to the Central Pollution Control Board, which considers readings below 50 to be good. Swiss group IQ Air rated Delhi the world's most polluted city in its live rankings. The city battles toxic air every winter, and authorities say much of the smoke comes from farmers illegally burning paddy stubble to clear their fields in the neighbouring breadbasket states of Punjab and Haryana. The Supreme Court pulled up the governments of both states for taking selective action against stubble burning, saying penal provisions were not being properly implemented. India's top vaccine maker has bought a 50% stake in a major Bollywood production company known for making popular films. Adar Poonawala's Serene Production will invest $91.3 million in Karan Johar's Dharma Productions and Dharmatic Entertainment, his company said. Poonawala also heads the Serum Institute of India, the world's largest vaccine maker by number of doses, which produced millions of COVID-19 shots for India and many other countries during the pandemic. Poonawala's investment in the entertainment company is a significant move at a time when Bollywood is struggling to overcome lean times since the COVID-19 pandemic shut cinemas. The industry is also facing competition from dozens of local and global streaming platforms in India. In sports, India has reacted strongly after several sports in which the country does well were axed for a leaner version of the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. The Scottish city stepped in to host the Games after the original host, the Australian state of Victoria, withdrew citing cost concerns. The pared-down Games will feature only 10 sports, down from 19 in Birmingham in 2022. And India are upset as badminton, cricket, hockey and shooting are among the sports axed from the programme. And that's all from me. You have been listening to Apna Radio 93.9 Dublin South FM. Tune in next week for more news updates.
Thank you so much, Charmaine. You've been excellent as usual, like every week. You put together a wonderful research and a wonderful content of that. So what you deduced today from her news is that the battle between Elon Musk and Ambani is going on for the control of the satellite rights in India, which is a big business. Obviously, Ambani has invested billions and billions in Geo channel, and he would not allow Elon Musk to walk in that easily. It wouldn't be a cakewalk for Ambani in India. But Modi ji wants him there, so there you go. What can I say? These are the commercial battles. These are business battles, global, and that's going on. But we are here to talk about some other things. Obviously, Apna Radio try to cover as much as possible, as long as possible, about the different systems that is happening. So Sharad is here talking about the change maker. Who are the change makers? And the change makers are those who are, and he's talking about with a gentleman called Kundan Shah, I think it's Kundan Shah, if I'm not wrong. He's talking about this whole business of private education outside India. And to link with that, I have in the studio Imrana Khanum, who's a perfect example of that, sitting beside me in the studio, who shall be taking over from me as a anchor broadcaster while I'm in India. But I'll talk about that some other time. I have another week to go. But I'll interview her today and talk about herself. Who is she? Why she's in Dublin? How she's in Dublin? And what she's studying and all the rest of it. But this particular clip is all about that. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this and learn about it.
Thank you. If you remember in our episode on August 22nd this year, you discussed deep into the educational system of India and how students from India have migrated to universities across the world, including Ireland, in search for better career and opportunity. And then you pointed out many of these students could not find themselves with the right job and they are struggling. So when the career goes off, it's not just the individual that is suffering, but then the entire family and the support system is suffering because of the impact of that misalignment. Good afternoon, dear friends. Today, we are excited to speak with someone who has taken on the challenge of closing this gap between academia and industry and is helping who are struggling in their careers, not only with students but others from diverse background. You might think of it as just another mentorship, but then what our guest Kundan Sharma offers goes beyond that. His work doesn't just guide students and graduates, whether they are fresh out of schools with PhDs, but also those who have backgrounds in entirely different professions, such as security guards, single mothers, teachers, victims of domestic abuse, and even figures like Panditji. So Kundan Sharma's approach, as I understand, is nothing short of transformative. It involves not just technical expertise, but a deep emotional connection and an unwavering support for his students. Through his unique model that combines technical, emotional, financial, and counseling support, he has made a difference in lives of countless individuals. Therefore, in our interview, we wanted to hear directly from Kundan Sharma about his incredible journey and the impact he has made. Here are some of the experts from our conversation, but then for the full interview, you may like to check our YouTube channel called Apna Radio Dublin. That would be also the search Apna Radio Dublin on YouTube. So I began by asking him about what inspired his unique and inspirational journey.
Essentially, when I came to this country, so I saw that there's a huge gap between the industry and the academics. So I could realize that there was no such, I would say, academics was completely outdated as compared to the industry. And there were many, I would say, fellow students who used to come from India, and they used to put so much on stake by taking a lot of student loan. They used to put their house and mortgage properties. And then when they used to come here, after basically taking the education from there, I mean, there was no, I would say, the quality of education in the universities was absolutely pathetic. They were just, for the name's sake, they were universities, but they were not giving the quality education. So after completing, let's say, their master's or graduation, I saw that they were literally struggling to get a proper career path after their masters, and whereas the industry was quite far ahead as compared to the academics. So there was, I would say, a huge potential where somebody needed to fill that gap. So I just realized that, I mean, maybe because there's no proper mentorship available, no guidance available, and now I would say there are so much, I would say, shops available. I'll call them shop, right? So people, they are selling their, I would say, the content without proper guidance and mentorship, and because people they come to this country with a lot of hopes and aspirations, they fall into those traps. I would say I call them as a gullible students or gullible customers.
Yes.
And so I realized that there was no honesty, I would say, in this, and because I come from industry, I have almost more than 2 decades of experience. So I knew where I would say the students were lacking. So I just thought, why not let me try out something innovative, which probably no one has done it before.
How many students you started this experiment of overcoming the challenges of a skill set and a gap between industry and academic?
Yeah. So essentially I started with only 4 students, right? So I started with them, and my intention was basically just to share my knowledge and experience. There was no commercial interest in that, right? So I started it as a pilot project. I thought that let me just see if I can make a difference to their life. And I started teaching them, and essentially I started teaching online with them, online to them, and then I taught them almost for 3 years. So you'll be surprised, I did not charge even a single penny for 3 years.
Yes.
And I started basically recording my lectures, right? So, and the reason why I was recording my lectures because initially I had plans to bring them to the classroom, but then there were a lot of logistics involved in that. They could not afford the transportation fees, etc. They could not commute. It was quite time consuming. So I thought, let me start doing over the Zoom.
So why did you not take the opportunity of having a commercial interest into this model?
I just wanted to know that whether this model can it be successful also or not. So there was, I thought that let me try out doing something different which no one has done it. So I started doing something from scratch, and I started teaching those 4 students, and I realized it that once at the end of the training, all 4 of them, they got placed. And
excellent.
So when I say all 4 of them got placed, I mean getting when I say a student, an overseas student, when he comes to this country, getting a sponsorship and work permit is almost impossible. So for them, I mean, I would say 2 of them actually needed sponsorship, and they got sponsorship for the first time. And after that, basically, then I realized that maybe yes, whatever I'm doing, it is actually making a difference to people's life. And then they started basically giving me a lot of satisfaction and energy. And then I thought, how can I do this in a sustainable manner so that I'm able to make difference to students' life, as well as keeping my commercial interest also intact. But at the very beginning, there was absolutely no commercial interest involved in that. I'll be very honest with that. So I started doing it, and when the first prototype, it became successful, when all the 4 students, they got the job, I did not have to market anywhere. So it started, I would say, I mean, through word of mouth, it started spreading like anything.
So with so many years, how many students would have come to you to get their careers enhanced and upgraded?
I started this journey in year 2017, and now it has been almost 7 years. And I started with 4 students, and today I have managed to penetrate 17 countries.
Wow, that's huge. And do you cater to a specific skill set, or is it that you take students from any background and then you are able to guide them through their career irrespective of the skill set?
As I said, I started with 4 people. Those all 4 were from IT background. But because I would say all the 4 people, they got job. Then in year 2019, COVID came. And I saw that it had a massive, I would say, impact on the society. People from service sector, they were getting impacted. So I just took it as a pilot, I would say, project. I started teaching a security guard.
Okay. Security guard, when you say security guard, that is like physical
security guard who is actually checking,
standing by the boundaries, and they are doing the surveillance, physical surveillance of the properties.
Exactly, physical surveillance. And then I started teaching him, and then I had nothing to showcase myself that I have done this project in the past. The only proof I had is these 4 students.
Okay.
So I showed them that these are the 4 students, and then basically that security guard, I trained him. And when he got a job and he started his career into IT as an automation tester, he started with a very decent package of £45,000.
That is huge.
So for a security guard, making a career into IT as an automation tester, that too with a starting package of £45,000, I would say it is truly...
This is magnificent. This is
yes.
Miracle. Yeah, for somebody's career, it's a miracle. So what was the student's reaction when somebody saw a first paycheck of 45,000 package a year?
When I have witnessed, I would say now I have lost count how many such journeys I have gone through. Students basically, if you say in terms of reaction wise, I mean, sometimes they start crying, they don't believe it. And they are, I would say, they would like to pinch them, whether it's a reality they have managed to achieve that. So it's a very, very, I would say, I cannot basically explain this in words, but then the follow-up crowd, what happened after that security guard, you'll be surprised to know, I got a call from a priest, which you call Panditji, right? So a proper Panditji, I mean, who performs all the religious activities.
Yes.
He came to me, and he was 47 when he called me.
47 years of age.
47 years of age. And imagine that a priest, he always chants Sanskrit mantras, shlokas, and he performs all religious activities.
Yes.
Now, can you just teach me? So for me, again,
it was a challenge.
It was a challenge, and I did not know that whether I'll be able to do justice to that or not. But then I had to basically... I could not lie to him. So I said, this is a journey. I've done this to a security guard. Whether you are willing to take this up as a challenge or not, we can definitely do it. And then Panditji, he took that challenge, right? And he started this journey, and that was, I would say, one of its kind in entire earth. You would never ever have heard that any Panditji doing coding into IT. And I can confidently say that you will not find any other priest on this entire earth.
That might make an entry into Guinness Book of World Record.
Absolutely. So when Panditji came and when he started his career into IT, and at that too at the age of 47, immediately I would say there was a surge of students. The next person to come was a hotelier. And hotelier, his qualification was diploma in hotel management.
Okay.
Who spent almost more than 2 decades into hotel. He was so much inspired by Panditji that if he can do it, why can't I do it?
Yes.
And
makes
again,
sense.
Basically, he started following the same journey what Panditji had gone through. And he again started his IT career at the age of 46.
Okay.
With a package of 46,000 pounds.
Well, the age matches the package, but that's excellent. Again, a magnificent story.
Dublin South FM. You wouldn't buy a car without knowing its history. So why would you buy a story without knowing who's telling it? Come here and I tell you. It's not always easy to verify what you see, read or hear. But now there's help. Visit www.bemediasmart.ie. Stop, think, check. Be Media Smart. Brought to you by Media Literacy Ireland, supported by RTE. 93.9 Dublin South FM.
Indeed. Welcome back to the programme, and that is 93.9 Dublin South FM. Everything is fine, as we say here at the radio station. Now, that is an eye-opener to me as well as to you listeners, if you've been paying attention to what Mr. Kundan Sharma has been talking to our London correspondents and Sharad Awasthi in terms of how there is no age factor when it comes to IT skills and coding and all the rest of it, because that is the name of the game. That is the future. Children are learning at school, colleges, degree and IT skills, the basic IT skills, because that is requirement and the shortage of a skilled worker who can get a decent salary. 47,000 is not a huge salary in terms of a real IT people, but to start up with, it's not too bad. For somebody who is have no clue about IT sector whatsoever, as was the case in the case of an Hindu priest. So there you go. Now, as I mentioned to you that we have a guest in the studio and a student from Dublin Business School, DBS, Imrana Khanum. Imrana comes from Rajisthan estates of a city called Udaipur, and she'll be talking about how she ended up at the DBS and what she's studying and all the rest of it. So, Imrana, you're most welcome to the program.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. It was really, really a great pleasure to be here with you all, and especially with Sir.
Not
I
at
had
all.
never thought even my life that I'll be sitting and speaking on the radio and I don't know, I need to pinch myself.
From Dublin. That
Yeah,
too, from
exactly.
Dublin, where you just started your student days here a few months ago. And so how come you learned about DBS and what happened and how you learned about this course?
It is indeed a big story, but it's from my graduation time, and I've just graduated from my bachelor's from back in Rajisthan, Udaipur, where I belong to. So I just want to be move abroad for my career boost and just to add something to my career. So I had this dream, but as in life keeps moving, I somehow done my master's back in India. Then I was into a profession where I used to be working with different international organizations and especially working for NGOs.
And what was your master's in?
So I was master's in management, MBA in HR.
Okay.
So then I started my career with NGOs and working with the charity organizations, and I was part of administrations, operations, and HR team.
Paid job or just a volunteer job?
No, it's a paid job, and
Okay.
it's very well paid job.
Okay, wow.
Back in India. So when I just thought of having moving abroad, so first of all, it was I myself has to determine, know whether I should be leaving my job and my parents and everyone in the family. That needs of good courage. Exactly. Because back of your mind, you sometimes says yes, no. It's a battle between yourself only.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's how it started. Then I've just come across with some consultancies and all. So I just shared my, this is the country where I like to move in. So I was looking for an European country and something which I can go and do something easily. And if I return back, it adds something to my career. So this is how it's been started. Then my search ended up in Europe, Ireland, and then it's Dublin. So then I was actually looking for how much financial things I have. So as far as finance being concerned, so I ended up with DBS, and this is really very, very pleasure being here. And it's all here. It seems to be a 5 minutes chat, but it took around a year for me to be here.
Yeah, sure. And in your other life, you also belongs to a broadcasting world and a radio. That is your passion. And you've been working for the National Radio of India, AIR.
Yes, All India Radio, Akashvani Udaipur. This is from where I've learned how to speak actually on radio.
Lovely. So maybe you have a natural, a place here on Dublin South FM?
Yes, definitely. And I'm so much thank you. I must thank you. I really, I mean it.
Yeah, I can understand. Radio is such a medium that once you like it, you want to be with it. It's a bug, as I call it. And I got that bug almost about 35, 40 years ago in London when I was working for BBC World Services. And in Dublin, despite all the other activity that I do as an actor and as the entertainer in the film festival, radio is my still very much the first passion. So I could totally understand your obsession and your likeness. Because you know what? Somebody said to me, senior producer in BBC, he said, radio makes a better pictures.
Yeah,
and
true.
I said, how again? He said, the audience has to use their imagination. The images are not there like television to help you to all that. So therefore, radio is, although these days you have podcasts, even then the podcast doesn't have that much of, because again, the podcast has got images and people are looking at you, the surrounding, where you're sitting, where you're talking. Content is become secondary in podcast as well. The radio doesn't have all that, which is the great thing about the radio medium.
Absolutely.
Super. Talking about your experience so far, you've just joined in September, I believe. Yeah,
I was my September was my education intake, and that seems to be a high, very huge intake for as students for moving here in Ireland.
Any other Indian students with you, or you're the one?
Yeah, I do, where the place where I live, there we have 4 housemates. They all are from India. So indeed in DBS, you see the crowd of huge Indian population. It doesn't feel like you are somewhere else. It seems like you are somewhere in India only.
Yeah, because they got the patch sorted for Indian market.
Sure,
and their agents are doing an excellent job. So as the other colleges like Griffith College and of course the other universities such as the Trinity College and the UCD and DCU. These are the 3 major universities. So because the education sector in Ireland has always been suffering for the lack of international students. And so much so that Trinity College, I don't know, you saw the film called Ekta Tiger, Salman Khan film.
Yeah.
So what happened was that the Professor Marsh of English department used to come to my film festival. And once he was there at the press launch and he said to me, Mr. Zaidi, tell me, how do I attract Indian students in Trinity College? Because we don't get that many students. They all go to Oxford and Cambridge and Harvard and Yale in America.
Yeah.
I said, Professor Marsh, you have to shoot a movie so you can show that to Indian parents and students what the Trinity College looked like.
Oh,
And so that was my suggestion, and he took up that suggestion very seriously.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, and he flew up to Mumbai, met Yash Raj. He was alive. Yash Chopra was alive at the time. And they discussed some project. I said, yeah, I have a project, but the director, Kabir Khan, is going to go to Cambridge. He said, why Cambridge? Why not come to Trinity College? So that's how it happened. And they came to Trinity College to shoot the film. Yeah.
Oh, this is very interesting.
It's a story, a very interesting story. That's how they came. They stayed here for 2.5 months. Katrina Kaif, Salman Khan, they're all the crew, the cast and all that. And it's a commercial film. It's some sort of a James Bond type of action movie that shifts from Dublin to Istanbul, Istanbul to Cuba, and Cuba back to Delhi. So four countries covers. And it's a big budget film. It was like $7-8 million film. And they spend a good bit of about $1 million over here, the Yash Raj people. So that's how now it's so popular because over the years, these agents, as you put it, are doing excellent job in bringing the students. So I suppose it's a happy medium for both. Parents are happy, students are happy, although a bit expensive,
true.
But there you go. Hopefully, when you're qualified, you'll get a good job and you'll pay back that loan.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, that you have earned. So great. And what's your finally observation about Dublin and its people and city and all that?
So I must say this city is something which I am like very, very much loving it. People are very helpful, very welcoming. They are so lovely. So even though you meet people like on a public transport, they are so much welcoming. They just like if you ask someone, as I have sharing with you, that I was like looking for an address and I just asked my co-passengers and she was like very old lady, but the way she make me like comfortable and she was like on to me like be safe and you get off at that place, and she was also doing like asking other co-passengers to help me out to just remind me this is the place like where you have to get off. So something this experience has made your life easy, and you people come across. They also gives you some sort of like a good feelings, which is like for a new beginners, it's really very important because here when you come, it's a cultural change.
Of course.
And there is like you start missing your family. I do still. It's been like 6 to 8 weeks now, but I still miss my family. Everyone back there. So yeah,
So who's back there? Brothers and sisters, mom and dad?
Yeah, my mom, my dad. I have a niece and my elder sister, my younger brother. Yeah. That's all.
Great.
And I have very lovely friends and people across me who used to work with me and like some are my like neighbors, and everyone I miss a lot.
Great. And of course the food, the home food.
Oh God, this is the top, which is like safe place. Top
place.
Food is like the one which I miss a lot.
Mind you, now you're lucky that so many Indian restaurants have come up now.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Have you tried Andhra Bhavan?
Not yet.
Andhra Bhavan is a new addition into the city. 2 branches have just been opened up, one in Marlborough Street, which is right in the heart of the city. And of course, there are quite a lot of restaurants around, but it's happening now. South Indian foods are really mushrooming around. They are opening up restaurant right, left and center. Before that, there was a North Indian and Punjabi and a lot of Pakistani restaurants who used to call themselves Indian, but they were run by Pakistani chefs. But it's all changing the landscape because the population is growing. There are over 100,000 students.
Yeah.
And, the Indian population is rising regularly. Businesses are rising. Students are rising. This year, would you believe, overall, 12,000 students have come to Ireland.
Wow, that's a huge number.
Yeah, all over Ireland I'm talking about, because there are universities outside Dublin as well.
Dublin, yeah.
Limerick, Cork, Galway, and all that. So Waterford, all of that is joining up, and our ambassador and Indian embassy is pushing it as much as they can to bring Indian students. So 12,000 is a staggering number, I must say that.
Yeah, that's a huge number.
Huge number. So all good, I suppose. That's why you have concerts. You have, before that, there was no concert. I mean, a few weeks ago, we had a concert of Shan. at the CCJ Convention Centre, and we had my own Indian Film Festival of Ireland. It was very well received this year. Again, the people are beginning to like the fact that actors, directors are coming, stars are coming, and all that. So it's all happening. And it's a hip and happening city. What can I say?
Exactly.
Great.
Very hip and happening. And I'm excited for this festive season, Halloween and everything.
Yes, indeed. This is what the cyclical term that we use here is now that you are into Halloween. As soon as the Halloween will finish, all the Christmas decoration will be up and people will be counting days to when is the Christmas night and the Christmas day.
Yeah.
So this is the cycle and you'll experience all that. So no, I'm happy that you're liking the city and you're liking your course, and this is a 1-year course, master's.
Yeah, this is a 1-year course, and hopefully this ends up in 2025.
Okay.
September
2025.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Imrana Khanum. You're very welcome to the program. And indeed, I'm planning to go to Delhi to launch the second Irish Film Festival of India that I started 2022. And opening is on the 7th of November. So be part of this radio station while I'm gone. Your expertise in All India Radio will be very well utilized here. And you shall just liaise with the regular contributors and fly away the show.
I'm excited. I'm like, because this you're doing from a long time. So
Indeed.
That is your expertise. I'm new to this culture. So I will definitely love to like put whatever things I need. I know. So definitely I'll work hard for this. And thank you for giving that opportunity. It's something you believe in me. And I hope I will keep that up.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You shall indeed. Yeah. Great. So that was Imrana Khanum, a new student at the DBS, studying here for a year program. And she's also a passionate broadcaster, and she will be sitting in for me for a couple of weeks. But now, next week, I'm here too, and hopefully she'll observe me as well next week. And indeed, we'll continue our journey in the radio, and then hopefully things will get better. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Take this particular break that I'm going to take, and don't go anywhere before I will tell you to go away.
Broadcasting from the Dundrum Town Centre, this is Dublin South FM.
Are you part of a local community group or representative organisation active in the Dunleary-Rathdown area? Why not join a network of over 400 such groups in the Dunleary-Rathdown Public Participation Network? You can join the group, influence local policy, get regular updates about funding and other opportunities, connect with other groups like yours, publicise your group, and even get free training and support. Make sure your voice is heard through DLR Public Participation Network as a registered group in the county. Dunleary-Rathdown Public Participation Network. For full information, find us online at dlrppn.ie. That's dlrppn.ie.
Broadcasting to South Dublin on 93.9. This is Dublin South FM.
Indeed. Welcome back to the program. You're listening to Siraj Zaidi at Apna Radio, broadcasting at 93.9 Dublin South FM. So the world never stops, as I said, and therefore we don't stop telling you about the changing nature of the globe. Local news, election is up and running, and hopefully at the latter part of November, Simon Harris has announced the election, not the exact date, but it'll happen. I was talking to one of the councillor actually last week, and they were saying, no, the election is going to happen. It's going to happen. So Dáil will be dissolved, and there will be a local election, and it'll be interesting to see how it'll pans out when the election will go through. Now, time to listen some songs, because we are nearly halfway through, and we've got a couple of wonderful songs lined up for you. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this particular first track.
चोरी चोरी कोई आए, चोरी चोरी कोई आए, चुपके चुपके सबसे छुपके ख्वाब कहीं दे जाए, चोरी चोरी कोई आए, चोरी चोरी कोई आए, चुपके चुपके सबसे छुपके ख्वाब कहीं दे जाए, चोरी चोरी कोई आए। आँखें डाले आँखों में, जाने मुझसे क्या वो पूछे, आँखें डाले आँखों में, जाने मुझसे क्या वो पूछे, मैं जो बोलूं बोलूं क्या, हंस दूं मुझको कुछ ना सूझे, ऐसे ताके दिल में झांके सांस मेरी रुक जाए, चोरी चोरी कोई आए, चोरी चोरी कोई आए, चुपके चुपके सबसे छुपके ख्वाब कहीं दे जाए, चोरी चोरी कोई आए। मीठे मीठे बोलों से दिल पे ऐसा जादू डाले, मीठे मीठे बोलों से दिल पे ऐसा जादू डाले, खोई खोई जाऊं मैं, जो भी चाहे मन वाले, मुझको चूमे दिल तो झूमे, आँख मगर झुक जाए, चोरी चोरी कोई आए, चोरी चोरी कोई आए, चुपके चुपके सबसे छुपके ख्वाब कहीं दे जाए, चोरी चोरी कोई आए। बैठी बैठी सोचूं मैं, वो तो चल दे मुझको डस के, बैठी बैठी सोचूं मैं, वो तो चल दे मुझको डस के, मुझको मार डाले ना अपने बाजुओं में कस के, दिल जो धड़के ऐसे धड़के एक नशा छा जाए, चोरी चोरी कोई आए, चोरी चोरी कोई आए, चुपके चुपके सबसे छुपके ख्वाब कहीं दे जाए, चोरी चोरी कोई आए।
दिन महीने साल गुजरते जाएंगे, हम प्यार में जीते प्यार में मरते जाएंगे,
देखेंगे
देख लेना
देख
देखेंगे
देख लेना
देखेंगे
देख लेना
दिन महीने साल गुजरते जाएंगे मत शर्माओ आ जाओ मत शर्माओ आ जाओ मेरी बाहों में देखो अपनी तस्वीर मेरी निगाहों में क्या हुआ अगर कांटे हैं अपनी राहों में इन राहों में फूल बिखरते जाएंगे हम प्यार में जीते प्यार में मरते जाएंगे
देखेंगे
देख लेना
देखेंगे
देख लेना
तुमको हमने मान लिया रब तुम जानो तुमको हमने मान लिया रब तुम जानो हम ये जाने बाकी सब तुम जानो क्या कहना है क्या नहीं ये अब तुम जानो तुम जो कहोगे हम वो करते जाएंगे हम प्यार में जीते प्यार में मरते जाएंगे
देखेंगे
देख लेना
देखेंगे
देख लेना दुख सुख का साथी हाँ जी तुम्हें बनाया
जी हाँ मेरे भाइयों, that is another beautiful song, Din Mahine Saal Guzar Jayenge. And the next song that I've chosen is also a very good song, Hai Hai Ye Majboori, Ye Mausam Aur Ye Duri. So these are the really hit songs of all-time hits. What's happening in our industry, as you probably would know, that a lot of things are happening in terms of financing, in terms of the health of the industry. I don't know, you follow the news, which Charmaine has covered as well, that Mr. Poonawala, who is into pharmaceutical industry, syrup industry and all that, he's a multi-billionaire, millionaire pharmaceutical businessman, but he's also a filmi divana, what can you say? And he is investing over, I think, 4 or 5 crores or 100 crores. I'm not exactly sure how many crores, but he's investing quite a lot of money into Karan Johar's Dharma production as a passion for Hindi films, and Hindi films liked by everybody else in India and the people from abroad. So that from time to time, people do dabble and do gamble in the industry by investing heavily into that. So Mr. Poonawala is also, I would love to meet Mr. Poonawala because I have also my projects. And well, let's see if I can manage to I will be in Mumbai for a couple of days and then we'll see what happens. But I don't expect him to meet me. But this is another industry like any other industry in India, which is the size of the population of India, whether it's pharmaceutical, construction, media and entertainment. It is rich by private sector rather than the public sector. In India, as you know, there are two sectors parallel to each other. One is the private sector, one is the public sector. Public sector is obviously driven by the government, and what the government does is their business, and sometimes the private people do not pay attention to it because they are obsessed with the business, what they are going to make themselves and all that. So quite interesting. So talking about that, I would play another song before our time is ticking over. As you know, time does tick over. Time is a factor that never stops. Have you ever thought about it? Heartbeat and clock never stops.
मुझे पल पल है तड़पाए तेरी धड़कन आदि नौकरी में मेरा लाखों का सावन जाए हाय हाय ये मजबूरी ये मौसम और ये दूरी
That's another beautiful song it was. And would I say that today I'm staying with Lataji. And, people like Lataji never die. I always say that, artist voice, artist, talent never dies. Even the person goes away from this world. But film industry is the only industry where their work will remain with people forever. And no radio station in the world, I can guarantee you, can survive without songs of our industry. Key names that I play all the time, Kishore Da, Rafisa, Lataji, Ashaji, and all that. So, but there are a lot of new singers coming up. Like I mentioned that Shan, who is a rising name in the last few years, in fact. He's been doing lots of concerts, and he was in Dublin at the convention centre. And he's also a very good playback singer. So is Arjit Singh. So is all these youngsters, I would call it. Shan is no longer youngsters, but I mean, there's a lot of youngsters are in the industry. Shia Ghoshal, there's another my favorite singer. But today I'm staying with Lata ji, and next song that I'm going to play is Jab Hum Jawan Honge, Jaane Kahan Honge. Hum Dublin mein bhi ho sakte hain. So this is the song, and uske saath saath I would like to take your leave, because nearly now is 5 minutes to close the program, and therefore I would like you to enjoy this particular track and say goodbye to you. And once again, I would like to thank my guest today in the studio, Imrana Khanum, who will be the regular feature in the program from the following week, if not next week, then following week. So hopefully you like the show. Hopefully you have understood what is going on in the world, in the news and the clip. And I'll be back next week, same time, same place, 93.9 Dublin South FM. Don't go anywhere without listening on Thursday, this same program. Bye for now.
जब हम जवां होंगे जाने कहाँ होंगे लेकिन जहाँ होंगे वहाँ पर याद करेंगे तुझे याद करेंगे जब हम जवां होंगे ऐसे हंसती थी वो ऐसे चलती थी ऐसे हंसती थी वो ऐसे चलती थी चांद के जैसे छुपती और निकलती थी ऐसे हंसती थी वो ऐसे चलती थी चांद के जैसे छुपती और निकलती थी सबसे तेरी बातें तेरे